You could be killing your ads on day one and not even knowing it. So it does seem that when we are building out our creative is going to be for two groups of people now. Meta first, really, we have to tell them what we're going to be trying to get out to our audiences. And then B, or two, you then have to make the ad for the audience themselves. You have a gatekeeper. You have a bouncer now at the nightclub. Used to be you just walk in and start talking to the bartender. Yeah. Now you gotta pass the bouncer. And the bouncer's like, hey, if you show me your ID, otherwise you're gonna get bounced. So your ID this is your creative, your ad copy, your titles, or your primary text, your descriptions, your images, all of the creative that you have now. Your targeting is done even all the way at the primary text. So for everyone out there using Grok to write your primary text and just saying that looks good enough, you could be killing your ads on day one and not even knowing it.
So today we're getting into and this is something I can't wait to show our creative team, because this is something that you discovered about the dissonance, or perhaps the harmony, between creative and ad copy. And then also maybe a little bit of an example. We'll show a sneak peek of an account that we're working on here that is in very, very early stages. And we have not done first click CAPI imports. And it'd be very interesting, I think, for people to see exactly what those results are. So the first one here is creative diversification, obviously. We'll get into exactly that. Just to remind you, and I don't know where my banner went, my pitch banner here.
Oh no.
Yeah. You can everything that we've talked about for the last 6 to 9 months is just like it's a big infomercial, really. It's just sell more stuff on the tier 11 side, which is fine.
It's free to the user, so it's sponsored by us.
Right. It's sponsored by us. Like,
you're going to get an in-stream ad every now and then on the podcast. It's just us.
Right, it's us.
You're all digital marketers. You know how this works.
There's got to be a pitch somewhere. Can't just give away free stuff all the time. And we give away 80-90% of the stuff that we do. There's some things that we just can't. We can't show everything, but we try and be as transparent as humanly possible on the show here. Hey,
we teach you the why, but not almost exactly the hows.
Yeah. So figure out how to do it on the how. If you can't figure it out, hire us. And so that's the reason why we have this promotion going on right now through the end of the year. We've already sold, I believe 6 of them so far. So we had 11. We really don't have that much capacity. We're not hiring a ton of new creative people through the end of the year, but in 2026, we will certainly be doing that. But here's the deal. You buy the creative diversification strategy, all the stuff that we've been talking about here, 30 plus creatives per month, very diverse, at least 80% difference between them, and then iterations on the best performing, which isn't necessarily the ones that look the best inside the ad platform, which we're going to show on today's show a bit. And you get iterations of those 5 to 7 per week. That's the creative diversification strategy that we're offering. So you buy that, but you get the media buying, world-class media buying, and headed up by our chief strategist here, John Moran. Not necessarily done by him, but all your disciples within the Tier 11 ecosystem. And you get Tier 11 Data Suite, which incorporates CAPI imports, first click CAPI imports, which we're going to be talking about here today. So that is over at tier11.com/CD. I am ending my pitch right now, but I might pitch it here just because I can't help myself. Let's get right into the content. This is a really cool test. I think you guys did you stumble on this, or was it just something? Tell me a little bit of the background of this organization, how you kind of came to these conclusions we're going to be talking about here today.
Yeah, so we have a company that has a fairly high spend account, so over 6 figures per month. And so that is in the Andromeda framework, which means one campaign, one ad set, all creatives. Following along with that creative diversification playbook that Meta has produced that we have already shared here, and an SOP also that we've already shared here, we are following along with that creative iterations. Now, we had our video 1, which was a short video in a vertical format that was mostly inside of Reels, inside of Meta. And we noticed that one was getting a lot of ad spend and our top line looked really, really good. So we made version 2, we made version 3, we made version 4. Now, the only thing that we didn't do in version 4 that we did with the other 3 is we used a more generic primary text. The reason why is we're breaking out our audiences based on different industries. So right now, our main focus is in the healthcare industries. Primarily, the avatar or our archetype is a middle-aged female who is looking to go to back to school or going to school for the first time for a nursing degree. Now, the reason why that's important is because that's who we have been talking to, because that was our largest amount of existing customers. So we said, okay, let's just continue to try to go along that same route. Let's not try to change the structure of the company. Let's just try to double down on what is working. So we've been doing that since about end of September, middle of September, and it's been working very, very well. By using this framework, we have increased our annual. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it this way. This might even be better just to see this here. I'll just start sharing screen, as this will probably help everyone follow along. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen here. Okay. So we started this new campaign in this account here, and that campaign started this date range here. So it was September 7th, so beginning of September. And what I mean by that is, if we just go back, I'm just going to actually open up this one here. I'm just going to go over, well, I'm going to see if I can open up a new, well, I can't. Anyway, we're just going to go back to the other case study here afterwards. But this campaign here has been running, if we look at the entirety of this, since if we look at September 1st through this time period here, we have been increasing our ad spend. We started at about $350 a day. Now we're up to about $2,500, $2,600 per day. New customers have increased here. This is all heading in the right direction. Now
nice
that
trends.
one, right? That one was started after
NVIDIA stock chart.
I know, right? And we're actually moving out of our original one that we started back in September 8th. And this one was tracking the first click checkouts. So we said, hey, the checkouts are now turning into conversions. So let's wean ourselves off the checkouts and push ourselves into conversions. Yippee skippy. Yep. Since then, that was September 8th. That is September 7th. This is that week. And since then, our annual growth year over year is 23% for these last 8 weeks. We have the previous 8. We were actually averaging about 0.5% better annually. So we went from a growth factor of 0.5% to a growth factor of 23% in the last 2 months. Now,
pretty darn good.
Right. And in doing so, the only thing that we did differently on this last video, and I know this is in a small font, so let me just increase the font here. If I do edit and I do font, and then let's make it for people who wear contacts like me. And there we go. So, right. Yeah. Well, what we noticed actually before we show this, what we noticed here is that each time we've launched a new iteration, it picked up. Now, we have done this case study here before. This is the same case study we've already talked about, but we have add A. Once we add in the next add B, add A kind of decays and B goes bigger. We added C went bigger. Then we added D. D started to get tested, failed, went back to C. So our D iteration didn't work. It was tested, then failed. And so the people that are in the creative department said that watched the spend levels, so they are already in tune with what they need to create next. They said, hey, we did a 4th iteration, but it doesn't look like spend's going to it. And I said, well, did we do anything different? They said, yeah, actually, because we're breaking into other industries, military, personnel, and then also more gen ed, we made it a little bit more kind of a softer, non-nursing specific language. And the headline that we used initially was, if college is your goal, Straighterline makes it possible, flexible, affordable, prereq courses that save you thousands to help you get to school sooner. So really nothing about nursing too much. Now, in the iteration that we just updated,
or any of the other ones, it's not just nursing here. It's prereqs for gen ed, right?
Okay. And so then we said, okay, now we switched to if
not
nursing
e-commerce, by the way, because this is a question we get all the time. I seem to get this a lot. It's like, you guys always talk about all these strategies based on e-commerce. This is not e-commerce.
Well, yeah, whether it's e-commerce or not, I don't see it.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, doesn't matter. Just wanted to state that.
Okay. One, you have to pick up the phone and take your credit card. The other one, they put in the credit card online.
Right.
Same thing. So that's
what I'm still buying.
Yeah. Right. I mean, there's no SKU list, but we haven't talked about anything on, I don't even use DPA ads or PLA ads or anything, obviously, inside of Meta, because that just goes way too warm remarketing. So it's not even part of our strategy, really. Yep. So whether we're running e-commerce or lead gen, it's the same ad. I mean,
another question we get a lot, by the way, and a lot of our comments, a lot of our questions is, do you guys use DPA ads in creative diversification? And the answer is
no. No, not in our standard practice. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, yeah, and cost capping, because we want to focus on the people that we've already harvested and planted. Or sorry, we already focused on the people that we planted. Now we have to harvest them.
Right.
So that's where you have cost caps to focus, and then you have
after you plant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like we planted the people. And then when you add a TCPRT row as a cost cap, it means focus on what you know, which means the things that you've already been growing, the warm traffic. And then after you run a sale and DPA ad, those are a creative type and an offer. Remember, we got pain point, hook, and offer, and all of your things in your concept. The new concept is sale. The creative is going to be sale. The media buying changes would have to be a cost cap or bid cap or TCPA or whatever it may be. T-ROAS, just name your channel and name your restriction. But then, yes, I will, because those do not scale and they focus on really warm traffic. I want that for a sale.
Sure.
But I don't want that if I'm trying to grow new prospecting. I don't want to do remarketing of existing users when I'm trying to prospect. It's the wrong
customer acquisition. Exactly.
Bingo.
Right. So getting back to the example here, just sort of a little bit of a sidelight there, but that's
sidebar.
I answered like 20 questions on that this morning, by the way, on YouTube. But anyway, go ahead.
I will go down any ADD side quest you want to go on. I'll follow you. So
that's good. And then you come right back, I noticed. Like I forget, like, what were we talking about? No, you remember.
Right. So we changed it to, if nursing's your goal, Destroyer Line makes it possible, flexible, affordable nursing prerequisites, save $1,000 to help you get into nursing school sooner. This is now going back to the primary text in the ad that we have similar on similar ads, but they're talking about the prerequisite. Now, when we look inside of the view history here of this ad, this one, let me just do the full date range here. So 9th through the 14th. We started the ad on the 10th and it was live on the 10th. We had the 10th, then we had the 11th, and then nothing happened on the 10th and the 11th. And we're like, okay, usually this thing, you add in ad spend and it has like $500 day one. And it had $2 day one, $2 day two. We're like, okay, something's wrong here. And then the other ad iteration C, or number 3, the third one, which is the one before this one right here, started creeping back up in spend. So we're like, okay, obviously it's not taking the iteration. So I said, this would be an amazing case study, is if we change the primary text and this ad takes off. So we changed the primary text on the 12th, which is what we know. So if we look at the history, the ad change happened on the 12th at 7:35 a.m.
Okay.
So if we look at the 12th and 14th compared to the previous period, this went from $7 in spend to now $511. It increased the ad spend 7,000% in 2 days, including today. Like, this is live while we're doing it. The
new ad, or you edited the existing,
right?
Okay. Another important point there, because a lot of people would say, well, that resets the learning. Well, it really actually doesn't.
Watch this.
Yeah.
This is day one, $3.
That is not resetting learning. That is Meta going, oh my God. Oh, you want me to target nursing people?
Right. So it's like day one that usually has, now when we look at, like, let's just look at another one here that we know that we were in pretty hard with. I think this is, which one is this? That's Robino 1. Let's look at Robino 2. If we look at Robino, what's this one? Robino 3. Here's a good one. Last 30 days here. Look at day one spend on Robino number 3, $155. Typically, as soon as you add in a new iteration, it's like, boom, it has great spend on day one. This is the third iteration of an old video and it still had $155. Now, we've already kind of moved on to other pieces of creative. This is the James 1. Let me do this. Reese 2. Reese 2 day one had higher amount of ad spend, then I started to whittle it down. But we just didn't really do as well as Reese 1. So it was odd for this one to have the day one $3, day two $3. On the 12th, the morning of the 12th at 7:30 a.m., it was updated with the new primary text says, yes, this is the audience that we're still trying to go after. Can you please go after the audience that we want? And Meta's AI at the time said, well, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me. So we said, okay, but let's update the primary ad text. And then on day 3, which was the actual day of the change, it went from $3 in spend to 88. The next day it went up to 295. And today we're at 130.75. Let's just do a real quick refresh. 130.75. Today we're at 131. So it's still, I just built this thing like 19 minutes ago, so still spending. But that's what's nice is now this thing is actually starting to spend. The number of conversions went from none on day 1, none on day 2, and then 3 on the 3rd day of the change, and then 6 the day after the day of the change. And so far today, it's only 2:50 in the afternoon. It's only 11:50 on the West Coast. We're already at 4. So it does seem that when we are building out our creative is going to be for 2 groups of people now. One, Meta first, really. We have to tell them what we're going to be trying to get out to our audiences. And then B, or 2, you then have to make the ad for the audience themselves. Right. So you have a gatekeeper. You have a bouncer now at the nightclub. Used to be you just walk in and start talking to the bartender. Yeah. Now you gotta pass the bouncer, and the bouncer's like, "Hey, if you show me your ID, otherwise you're gonna get bounced." So your ID is this is your creative, your ad copy, your titles, or your primary text, your descriptions, your images, the ad copy itself in the video format in terms of having it on the screen, plus in the closed captioning. All of the creative that you have now, your targeting is done even all the way at the primary text. So for everyone out there using Grok to write your primary text and just saying that looks good enough, you could be killing your ads on day 1 and not even knowing it.
Yeah. So I'm going to summarize this a bit. So maybe we can show the ad itself, the video itself, and then compare it to the copy that was not that was not specific to that video. So the video of this woman, this UGC ad, talks about nursing. She mentions nursing. She's a content creator, but the copy was not consistent with the nursing message. It was more a generalized educational ad copy. As soon as you made the 2 of those in harmony, you had ad copy that was about nursing and a video that's about nursing. Boom. It all of a sudden just took off.
Yep, and that's kind of what we saw here.
Accurately, yes.
And I wish I had the previous version. You can actually see. Okay. I copied and pasted it here because this was from our internal notes. I can't get the before. It just says ad updated. I was like, so yeah. I got the copy from our team.
Close enough, we were though. But this was kind of the copy. It was like it was just college is your goal, not specific to nursing, not specific to anything, and obviously, providing some kind of solution. But anyway, the point is like we don't have the original ad copy, but it wasn't as specific to nursing.
Well, I mean, it's there. It's on the screen. It's up at the top in the notepad. But what you can see is now the actual ad. It says if nursing's your goal, and that's where wretches. So it used to say if college is your goal. Now it says if nursing your goal. AI took that as these are 2 different people. You want people that want to go to college. You want people that want to be nurses.
But it's almost like Meta was confused because it's like, well, your ad copy says this generalized audience, so maybe I should show it to them. But your video says a more specific audience, and so it just wasn't connecting. It's like when you have harmony between the ad copy and the creative, and that's the big message here. It's like you have to look at everything. Everything is a signal to Meta.
Right. All right. So it's like, remember how like we used to do like old one, we used to pre-qualify users, be like, attention truck drivers. We're like, got rid of everyone else now. Right. It's kind of like that again.
Dog whistle call out. Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. So it's very interesting how you have to write and what's so funny is that makes so much sense because Meta's position, I would imagine in their think tank when they're thinking about this before they spent the $64 billion or somewhere in there in between was, well, if AI could understand it, a person in the feed could understand it. Like if AI says, I know that is who that's meant for, like you can have symmetry between AI understanding that this is trying to attract a specific person. And so the actual specific person would say, hey, this makes sense to me. So it's almost like that's your gatekeeper is if you can convince AI that you're trying to go after this specific audience and continually iterate on those specific audiences, the SOP that calls for a same concept but different hook and different offer, this is in the hook area, but your hook may not even land on the same audience if your hook isn't similar enough for AI to understand who you're going after, but different enough to test a different iteration. Right. It's really cool.
That's really cool.